Have you ever waited in line for something and then suddenly someone leaves and everyone moves forward? Well, today's challenge is somewhat like this, except with inner tubes in a lazy river. Hello, I'm Mariah, and today we're going to solve this Bebras challenge called inner tubes. Imagine this. After people use a water slide, the inner tubes float along a short, lazy river, and at the end they line up in a row. Let's say we have 8 inner tubes lined up like this: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Now here's what happens. When one inner tube is taken out of the water for the next rider, all the tubes behind it move forward one spot to fill the gap. So if a tube in the middle is removed, everything behind it shifts forward. Kind of like a queue at a cashier in a supermarket when someone leaves the line. Now here's your challenge. 5 inner tubes are removed in this order: B, G, E, D, H. Your task is to figure out how many times in total do inner tubes move forward by one position. A really helpful strategy here is to draw each step as you go. That's what I did, and it made it much easier to keep track of the moving tubes. Pause the video here and try to work it out. Alright, let's solve it together. A little trick I like to use is to go step by step and make sure to keep track of everything carefully. Let's look at the initial line of inner tubes. Remember, the tubes are removed in this order: B, G, E, D, H. Let's see what happens when the tubes are removed one by one, while keeping track of each step forward that a tube makes. We first remove tube B. Everything behind B moves forward. Since there are 6 tubes, that will be 6 moves. Next, we remove tube G. This time, only H moves forward, so that's 1 more move. Now we remove tube E. Tubes F and H move. That's 2 moves. Are you still with me? We're almost there. We now remove D. F and H move again, which is another 2 moves. And finally, we remove H. But there are no tubes behind it, so nothing moves, which means we have 0 moves. Now let's add all the moves we noted together. We have 6 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2, which is equal to 11. So the correct answer is 11. This challenge is a great example of how data is handled in computer science. The line of inner tubes represents a sequence of data, similar to how information is stored in memory. For example, a list of objects stored one after the other. One advantage of storing data this way is that it's easy to access elements by their position. However, when an element is removed, like an inner tube being taken out, all the elements after it need to shift to fill the gap. This is exactly what happens in many computer programs when working with lists or arrays. When an item is removed, everything after it has to move 1 step forward to fill the gap. Each of these movements takes time, and if the list is large, or this happens often, the total cost adds up and can slow down the program, making it less efficient. From a computational thinking perspective, the students are practicing algorithmic thinking by following a step-by-step process and making sure to keep track of the changes over time. They are also working with iteration as they repeatedly apply the same rule, and also with accumulation, since they keep a running total. This challenge helps build an understanding of how data structures and operations on them work in real-world computing systems. Thanks for watching and exploring this Bebras challenge with your students. If you try this activity in your classroom, we would love to hear your opinion about it. Please feel free to share your experiences, ideas, and suggestions in the comment section below, so that other teachers can learn from them too. And if your students enjoyed this challenge, encourage them to share their thoughts and solutions in your Microsoft Teams class chat. It can be really interesting to see how different students approach the same challenge. Thank you for helping us bring computational thinking into the classroom.
and we hope to see you and your students in the next challenge.